All right, everyone. The markets got a little bit messy yesterday. We'll see how they're shaping up today. The crypto market has some excitement going on between Bitcoin, XRP, and then hugely SUI. Oh, man. I had trouble calling the hogs today. I'm a little bit under the weather. And then Ethereum token as well. We're going to talk about those, see the critical levels that they're at and where they could potentially go from here. And by the way, if you guys want to see my buys and sells, my analyses, share my thoughts, ideas, share your own thoughts and ideas, there's a link in the description for the Discord. 50% off your first month when you use the code word doctor. You guys can come on over, join the 1,000 members that are over there already. And there's a whole team of us there ready to talk with you, support you, plus the tools that are there and available. I'll tell you more about that later. In the meantime, I'm going to get into the charts and just share some commentary with you as we go through each of those. I think you're going to find it pretty intriguing. There we go. The perspective that I have for you, at least a little bit entertaining. We'll go for that. So I told you yesterday what I'm looking for. Maybe we find ourselves down below this. And if I'm going to go short on this, it's because we fell below this line, retested, and then sold off from there. So I'm watching for that retest. If we get it, the pre-market hours so far taking a bounce off the 513.15. If you've been watching this channel, you know that line's been there for a while. We'll see if it keeps on holding out for us. We did close down below that yesterday, and that's important to point out because maybe in the pre-market we see a little bit, maybe it's overdone, maybe it's just something that's going to be a fake out during that low volume. We're going to have to watch and see, but 513.15 is definitely that line. Moving over to SPY from QQQ, there we go. We got that sell down. I don't have a line on here for you right now, but the big thing is this gap right here. Will we fill that gap is the big question. The 200-day at 572, that gap goes all the way down to 570. So that's what I'm looking for those moments when we fill that gap on the Qs and on the SPY. For me, if that happens in the near future, maybe if we get enough of a drop over these next few days, that's what I'm looking for, especially as we get in that first week of June. We could be actually for next week, we have GDP. We get the second estimate for that. We should have some pretty big updates to the Atlanta Fed GDP now. Then into June, we also have labor market data that we're looking for as we get in that first week. We have 2 big weeks coming up. Not long after that, we have that next Fed meeting coming along as well. So got what we're looking for here. That big drop yesterday from the bond market, the dollar weakness that we experienced as a result of it, just not a lot of demand for U.S. debt right now. And honestly, one of the reasons I was thinking about this, like, how do I put this in perspective? And honestly, it's like being forced to give my kids my credit card and letting them spend, well, however much they want on whatever they want with no real control or oversight over it. So it's easy to spend somebody else's money, and I think that's where we got to with the government, that instead of having that responsible spending, if we ever had it, instead of having that sort of responsibility, hey, this is the amount that we have to work with, we don't really have the means to go above this. It's like, oh, well, we'll just take more and then we'll just put it wherever we want to put it. That's about what it feels like with those kids, with no regard or respect for the money that they're spending or the people that they're supposed to be serving. Mom and dad will just pay it because they don't really understand where money comes from. Only we have people who understand where money comes from and just don't care too much about the source of where it comes from. And that's not leaning on left, right side, whatever, because it's not a political commentary. It's broad U.S. government spending that we find ourselves under that put us in this predicament in the first place. And it's probably going to come with some pain in order to correct it. And we don't know if they're willing to put in that pain because that is unfavorable and it's hard to get reelected when you cause that pain to happen. Instead, keep everybody comfortable, but keep everybody satisfied and keep that debt climbing in the meantime and put that slow, steady pinch on people. So not a big fan of that kind of stuff, but fingers crossed that we get some sort of resolution sometime in the near future where that responsible spending comes our way, because it has to come our way. And hopefully the pain that we feel as little pain as possible. Moving over to IWM, we did get that gap fill in the pre-market down just a little tiny bit. We'll see how much we go down. If we bounce at all, we are near that $200 price tag for the Russell 2000 ETF here. Could get some psychological support. If we move over to Nvidia, just a real quick touch on that. Earnings coming up less than a week from today. A week from today, we'll be knowing the results of those earnings, and we'll be trading according to that. In the meantime, you can see that sort of broadening pattern that we have on this, that megaphone that brings with it increased volatility, which is kind of good for that swing trading opportunity. Retracing a little bit in the pre-market hours. Tesla fell off a little bit. I was looking for that opportunity to trade. Should we break 336? And I talked about the retest, and you guys can see in those in the pre-market hours, we actually are sort of getting that retest. We'll see if we sell down to this support line or if it sells all the way down to 317 or 314, maybe we even recover instead if we can retake 336 and stand on top of it. So we'll see what happens there. I'm definitely watching that throughout the market day today. BTC, check this out. I didn't update the price tag from my last video because I wanted to show you guys this movement that we have here. And there we go. Move that up there. 111, 888. Triple ones, triple eights. Pretty lucky. We can play the lottery on that, I suppose. You guys do what you want. I will say up above that, just north of that, puts us about at the mid 12s. And this trend line that you see going across here does go along these previous peaks, but honestly, it's even older than those peaks. It actually goes way back. Let me go out to the monthly chart actually, because we're just not going to see it on the daily chart. Reset the view. There we go. There's the two trend lines that we're working with right now. And I'll tell you what, this goes all the way back to 2013 as we look at this, as we look at these rays. There's a whole lot more of them too. I just have them hidden for the moment because they're not really all that relevant to this video. So I could unhide them and you might see them sort of grayed out, but showing up on your screen. And I've shared those in other videos. But this one, I got to keep it fairly narrowed down for you to be respectful of your time and mine. And so for Bitcoin, retracing a little bit from that all-time high, we need to overtake 111,337 because that is the 618 level from the last big movement that we made in Bitcoin. That's a Fibonacci extension level. And also this ray coming across the top here. We need to sit on top of both of those, which means we need to sit on top of 112.5 with a candle in order to have that going. Sort of overbought on the daily chart, sitting at 76. Weekly momentum getting close to overbought. Monthly momentum back into overbought territories. So we got to be careful right now with where we're at for Bitcoin. But with the altcoins, we had a lot of subdued price movement, such as what we had for XRP, pulling back a little bit from about 245, sitting on top of 245, opens us up to 265, sitting on top of 265, opens us up all the way back until about the 285 level. So we're going to be watchful for that. SUI! There we go. Look at this. Oh, man. This was so beautiful when I got up this morning and looked at this, that we were up above that $4 range, and I said we got to sit on top of this 419. We peekabooed above it. It's like Elon Musk is in this. We hit 420 on the nose and then retraced from that. We pulled back from 420, and I'll tell you what, that's going out 4 decimal places that we get that. 4 decimal places, 4 decimal places. And man, we just exactly pegged that and then sold back down. I got to say there's probably some sort of psychological resistance there with that number that both teenagers and some adults alike enjoy that number so much. Somebody can explain it to me why. I might know the reason. In any case, moving on from there, 419.07, got to sit on top of it. So far, we haven't done that. That's the number that we're looking for, though. The momentum is in the right spot. It is sort of declining right now. We want to see that push up for that momentum for SUI. If we sit on top of 420, remember that opens us up to 497, which is my price target on this. I still think that we have the potential to get there. Let's not break down below that trend line, please. Ethereum, what's the exciting news about Ethereum? I can take down my technicals for the moment and show this to you. You can see that rapid rise that we had up to the 200-day got rejected. Today, darn near retesting. We were within $10.30 of retesting the 200-day simple moving average. We need to sit on top of that. We almost got that today. RSI is a little bit warm for us. We want to see volume support. And I put this technical out saying that we could reach that $3,300. You have time on this because you got to sit on top of that 200-day first. If I put the technicals back up there, there's that massive resistance area that happens to sit right from 32.54 up to 33.83. Right in the middle of that is that 3,300 number that we're looking for. There's a bit of resistance up until about 2,900 as a matter of fact. But sitting on top of that 200-day could give us that push that we need, that moment that we need to see Ethereum move up on this one. So for Ethereum, I took out a position on this. I shared that position over at the Discord, and I said, you got some time. Watch it, see if it breaks up above the 200-day, but that position should still, it was profitable yesterday at market close because I used an Ethereum ETF for that option play, a call option play through ETH, I believe is what I used, the ticker symbol. So for that one, we need to get on top of that 200-day to have more confirmation that that is going to continue to the upside. And if we see that weakness instead, while I got my stop loss set, I do have a fair amount of confidence that we're going to get there, but I'd have much more confidence if we had a volume move that actually set us on top the 200-day. That would be really super helpful from where we're at right now. We're going to have to watch and see what we get. I think today is going to be an exciting day. Guys, I'm going to come back to you with an updated video on those penny stocks to see that progress. And if you guys want to see the intraday progress that I put out, that'll be over at the Discord. Links in the description. 50% off your first month. Thousands of members over there already. They are incredible people. I've been interacting with them a lot over these past several weeks, and I got to tell you what, the more I interact, the more I like them with the relationships that we're building over there. And like I said, there's a whole team of people like me out there sharing the insights, the opportunities, the buys, the sells, putting out education all over the place for everything finance, stocks, crypto, bonds, you name it. Like I said, links in the description. Use code word doctor. That's going to get you that 50% off your first month. Try it out for less than $1 a day. And then also down in the description is the link for Stockmo Academy. If you want to learn about trading options like I do, if you want to learn to do technical analysis like I do, and if you want to learn about using the bread recipe trading strategy that I personally use, especially in my day trades, but it also works pretty much over any time frame for showing when those big moves are about to happen up or down. And then with options, for example, you can trade accordingly. Stockmo Academy, there's a link in the description. Stockmo's a personal friend of mine. He put together some just wildly amazing courses that can really help you out. These small, easy to digest pieces that really help you to make sense of the financial markets and how to build alpha in your portfolio or reach financial freedom with them. Code word doctor works just the same for that, or I should say all the same. It works for getting you a discount, although it's a different discount because it's not monthly. You pay once for these courses and it is done. Code word doctor gets them for you cheaper. Bundling the courses saves you even more money. Guys, let me know what you think about the cryptos that I've mentioned here, about the market stuff that I mentioned here, about your own analogy for how you see the US government spending. Was mine spot on? And also, if you guys have some songs that get you pumped for trading, I have a playlist that I'm building out. Let me know down in the comments the artist and the song title. I'll check it out. And that playlist is up on Spotify. That's just a fun thing for me. I'll share it out for you in a later video. Let me know. In the meantime, guys, you want to really help out yourselves, help me out, support what I do here at the channel. The links are in the description for the Discord and those courses. Thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.